The British East India Company, a trading venture, arrived in India in the 17th century. Initially, their presence was purely commercial, focused on the lucrative spice trade and other valuable commodities. They established trading posts and built relationships with local rulers and merchants, gradually embedding themselves into the fabric of Indian commerce. Gradually, their influence grew, evolving from commerce to control. The company began to play a more active role in local politics, often manipulating rivalries between Indian states to their advantage. They secured treaties and concessions that expanded their power and control over vast territories. By the 18th century, the company had become the dominant power, eclipsing the declining Mughal Empire. The once mighty Mughal rulers were reduced to mere figureheads as the British East India Company established its own administrative and military structures. This shift marked the beginning of a new era in Indian history, one characterized by British dominance and control. India, with its vast resources and potential, became the jewel in the crown of the British Empire. The British were quick to recognize the immense wealth that India offered, from its fertile lands to its rich mineral deposits. They exploited these resources to fuel the Industrial Revolution back home, transforming India into a crucial asset for the British economy. This period saw the systematic exploitation of India's wealth, manpower, and resources. Indian laborers toiled in plantations, mines, and factories, producing goods that were shipped to Britain and sold for profit. The wealth generated from Indian resources played a significant role in the prosperity of the British Empire. The British implemented policies that favored their own industries, leading to the decline of traditional Indian crafts and industries. Indian artisans, who had once been renowned for their skills and craftsmanship, found themselves unable to compete with the mass-produced goods from British factories. This led to widespread unemployment and poverty among Indian craftsmen. The British administration, though efficient in its own way, was often insensitive to the needs and aspirations of the Indian people. Policies were designed to benefit the British economy and consolidate their control, often at the expense of the local population. This insensitivity led to growing resentment and unrest among Indians, sowing the seeds of the independence movement that would eventually lead to the end of British rule in India. The seeds of discontent were sown early on. Uprisings, both big and small, erupted throughout the 19th century. The Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, sparked by controversial rifle cartridges greased with animal fat, shook the foundations of British rule. Though brutally suppressed, it marked a turning point. The mutiny led to the dissolution of the East India Company and the formal transfer of power to the British Crown. Queen Victoria became the Empress of India, ushering in an era of direct British rule. However, the thirst for self-determination had been ignited and the demand for independence began to take shape. The early 20th century saw the rise of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, affectionately known as Mahatma, meaning great soul. Born in 1869 in Porbandar, India, Gandhi's journey to becoming a global symbol of peace and non-violence was marked by his profound commitment to justice and equality. His early life was shaped by his experiences in India and later in England, where he studied law. However, it was his time in South Africa that truly transformed him. Gandhi, returning from South Africa, where he had successfully fought racial discrimination, took the helm of the Indian National Congress. In South Africa, he had developed his philosophy of satyagraha, or truth force, which emphasized non-violent resistance to injustice. This approach was revolutionary, as it sought to win over opponents through moral persuasion rather than physical force. Upon his return to India, Gandhi found a nation yearning for freedom from British colonial rule. He advocated for a unique form of resistance, satyagraha, or non-violent civil disobedience. This method was not just a political strategy, but a way of life, rooted in the principles of truth and non-violence. Gandhi believed that true change could only come through peaceful means, and he tirelessly worked to instill this belief in the hearts of his fellow countrymen. His speeches and writings inspired millions to join the cause. Gandhi's philosophy resonated deeply with the masses. His ability to connect with people from all walks of life, from peasants to intellectuals, made him a unifying figure in the struggle for independence. He led by example, living a simple life and practicing what he preached. His commitment to non-violence and his willingness to suffer for the cause earned him the respect and admiration of millions. From the Salt Satyagraha to the Quit India movement, his campaigns mobilized millions, effectively challenging the might of the British Empire. The Salt March of 1930 was a pivotal moment, as Gandhi and his followers marched 240 miles to the Arabian Sea to produce salt, defying British laws. This act of civil disobedience galvanized the nation and drew international attention to India's struggle for freedom. The Quit India movement of 1942 further intensified the push for independence, with Gandhi's call for the British to leave India resonating across the country. His unwavering belief in non-violence, even in the face of brutal repression, earned him global admiration and put immense pressure on the British government. Gandhi faced numerous imprisonments and hardships, yet he remained steadfast in his commitment to non-violence. His efforts not only brought India closer to independence, but also inspired movements for civil rights and freedom across the world. Gandhi's legacy as a champion of non-violence continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the power of peaceful resistance in the face of injustice. As World War II ended, the British government, weakened by the war, decided to grant India independence. However, the question of a unified India became increasingly complex. The Muslim League, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, demanded a separate Muslim majority state, arguing that Muslims would be marginalized in a Hindu-majority independent India. Despite Gandhi's fervent opposition, the partition of British India into India and Pakistan was announced. The hastily drawn borders led to one of the largest mass migrations in human history, as millions of Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs were displaced. Communal violence erupted, claiming hundreds of thousands of lives. Independence Day. A bittersweet dawn. On August 15, 1947, India finally achieved independence, ending centuries of British rule. The streets were filled with jubilant crowds, their faces beaming with hope and pride. It was a momentous occasion, a day that would be etched in the annals of history forever. Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, unfurled the Indian flag at the Red Fort in Delhi, marking the birth of a new nation. His speech resonated with the dreams and aspirations of millions. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom, he proclaimed, capturing the essence of the moment. However, the joy of freedom was overshadowed by the trauma of partition and the immense challenges that lay ahead. The subcontinent was divided into two nations, India and Pakistan, leading to one of the largest mass migrations in human history. Families were torn apart and communal violence erupted, leaving deep scars on both sides. Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India, stayed on as the first Governor-General of independent India, playing a crucial role in the transition. His task was monumental, ensuring a smooth transfer of power while trying to maintain peace and order in a land fraught with tension. Meanwhile, Pakistan chose Muhammad Ali Jinnah as its first Governor-General. Jinnah, a key figure in the creation of Pakistan, faced the daunting challenge of building a new nation from scratch amidst the chaos and turmoil of partition. The transition of power was a complex and delicate process, with the shadow of partition looming large. The borders were drawn hastily, leading to confusion and conflict. Yet, amidst the chaos, there was a sense of hope and determination. Both nations were embarking on a new journey, with dreams of a brighter future. Despite the challenges, the spirit of independence ignited a sense of unity and resilience among the people. Cultural celebrations, songs, and dances became expressions of newfound freedom. The dawn of independence was bittersweet, but it also marked the beginning of a new chapter filled with possibilities and aspirations. Leaders from both nations worked tirelessly to lay the foundations of their respective countries. They faced numerous obstacles, but their vision and determination paved the way for progress and development. The early years of independence were a testament to the strength and resilience of the people. Today, both India and Pakistan have come a long way since that fateful day in 1947. They have grown and evolved, each with its own unique identity and path. The journey has been arduous, but the spirit of independence continues to inspire and drive them forward. The legacy of that bittersweet dawn lives on, reminding us of the sacrifices made and the dreams that were born. The aftermath, India, finds its feet. The early years of independence were marked by rebuilding and reconciliation. India adopted a democratic constitution guaranteeing fundamental rights to all its citizens. Nehru, a visionary leader, embarked on an ambitious program of industrialization and modernization, laying the foundation for a modern India. However, the scars of partition ran deep. The displacement and violence had left a legacy of mistrust and animosity between India and Pakistan. The two newly formed nations were soon embroiled in a conflict over the disputed territory of Kashmir, a conflict that continues to cast a shadow over the region. Legacy of empire. Echoes of the Raj. The British Raj left an indelible mark on India. The English language, the legal system, the railways, and the administrative structure were all legacies of British rule. While some of these legacies proved beneficial, others continued to pose challenges in post-colonial India. The impact of British economic policies continued to be felt, with India struggling to overcome the legacy of colonial exploitation. The social hierarchy, often reinforced by British policies, persisted, leading to inequalities and social divisions. Untold stories, beyond the headlines. The history of British India is often told through the lens of grand narratives and prominent figures. However, there are countless untold stories of ordinary people, farmers, soldiers, laborers, and women, whose lives were irrevocably altered by British rule. These stories, often absent from history books, provide a nuanced understanding of the human cost of colonialism. They highlight the resilience, the struggles, and the aspirations of those who lived through this tumultuous period. India today, a global powerhouse. Today, India stands as the world's largest democracy, a testament to its resilience and its ability to overcome the challenges of its past. It has emerged as a global economic powerhouse, a leader in technology and innovation. As India celebrates its independence, it is essential to remember the sacrifices of those who fought for freedom. It is a time to reflect on the lessons of history and to strive towards a future where the echoes of colonialism are replaced by the resounding success of a truly independent and prosperous India.